I'm here to ask, how many of you have a little bit of reluctance about participating in a self-timed photograph? How many of you have been dragged into a self-timed photograph by Jesse? Yeah, I have as well. And I have to admit, though, that I share some of Jesse's enthusiasm for the self-timer. And never talked to him about it, never really discussed this, but it occurred to me when I was going through a lot of our shared memories and found a lot of self-timed photographs. And I thought about why, and I think that there is a certain arrogance in that. Let me share. That anybody who can be trusted to take the photograph, you want in the photograph. Friends can be trusted and they're in. Everybody else we're not so sure about. But I think there's more. I think there's a rhythm to the self-timer. You know, you press the button, you find that moment, there's that pause, and then you form a memory. And I think that that's something that we share, right? I think that it's a burst of energy followed by a moment of reflection. It's a little goofy, but there's a sense of a self-timer is like a lot of moments with Jesse. Almost always seems like a terrible idea at the time, but if you go into it with energy and enthusiasm, that's how some of the best memories are made, as I think a lot of us know, most of all probably Eileen. So our time in New York was a whole string of self-timers living with Jesse. Our apartments, parties, one where we created a spatially correct map of the world in our tiny New York apartment, where each room represented a different continent, complete with Antarctica, with the tub full of ice. The illegal barbecues on the roof, where one time we were so convinced the fire department was screaming down First Avenue to arrest us, and we're running down the stairs, only to discover there's a little fire in the shop across the way. I'm no photographer, but I am always, I like close-ups, right? I'm always a little nervous about backing up to include other people or things in a photo, and I'm not going to say that's how I felt when Jesse started including Eileen and more of our self-timers, but what a wonderful thing to learn that Eileen made those memories even more special. One of our early memories I remember forming with Eileen was a hike that we took, and the photographs reflect the beautiful mountains and the waterfalls, but what I really remember couldn't be captured in a photograph. It was the 4-hour-long discussion we had, where I really saw a tenacity come out of Eileen that I hadn't seen until then. We were discussing Walmart. and Walmart's impact in our communities for 4 hours and loudly, much to the chagrin of all the other hikers on this beautiful trail. So I may have to admit that I may have been on the wrong side of that argument, but I was very happy to discover that Jesse had found somebody who could certainly stand up to some of the moments that can't be captured on film. And I'm certainly not in all of the self-timers that these two take. Have you ever seen their kissing self-timers? These two take some great, very romantic kissing self-timers. Some of those were taken on a road trip we were privileged to take with them from California all the way down to the tip of Baja, California, 3,500 miles of driving. And the moment I will never forget was what ended up being a little bit of a relationship test about halfway down. You want to test a couple. Try putting them in a boat together, the two of them, an inflatable boat, an inflatable kayak, where the rudder is locked in one position, so it's basically impossible to do anything but just go in circles. So put them out in the ocean and wait a couple of hours, and I was happy to see them coming back with smiles on their faces, both rowing on the same side of the kayak. And what I know about marriage, that's sometimes you have to do that, even though it doesn't seem to make any sense. In order to go in a straight line, you both have to be rowing on the same side of the boat. But that's what we're here to celebrate tonight. Is a lifetime of self-timers, of those moments that are goofy, that do have a sense of purpose, moments that sometimes Eileen seem like they're terrible at the time, but lead lead to some really special memories. So let's raise our glasses to the Jesse and Eileen, two people who are very close to my heart. Cheers.